This is a community analysis of Apollo Beach, Florida, presented by Jeff Cross. The historical beginnings of the Apollo Beach community start in 1938, when Paul Dickman purchased nearly 4,000 acres. He had an idea of creating a waterfront community on Tampa Bay that was almost equal distance from Tampa and Bradenton along US Highway 41 and named it Tampa Beach. After a series of failed efforts to develop the property, Mr. Dickman sold the land in 1957. The land was sold to Francis Corr, who built a canal running from Highway 41 to Tampa Bay. The completion of the canal, along with the beautiful beach area on Tampa Bay, attracted a hotel chain. A Holiday Inn was built where the canal and Tampa Bay meet and was the first business to take advantage of the artificial beaches created using sand left over after dredging the canal. The hotel boosted tourism due to its location directly on the water and docking facilities for luxurious sail and motorboats. In 1958, the community was renamed when Mrs. Corr, who was inspired by the area's plentiful sunshine, suggested that the community be renamed after the Roman god of sun, Apollo. After Mr. Corr's death, his son Thomas Corr took over development and introduced the first use of finger wedge development. Using the dirt from dredging out more canals, he created new fingers of land. This land was ideal for housing developments with waterway access to Tampa Bay and the Gulf of Mexico. Today, the Apollo Beach community has a land area covering nearly 20 square miles, with more than 55 miles of interconnected canals. Thomas Corr continued to develop the area into a community by donating lands for parks, as well as environmental areas for nature preserves. Thomas Corr also established a Chamber of Commerce and a community bank in Apollo Beach. Many people who live in this community now work in Tampa, Bradenton, Brandon, and the Riverview area. In contrast to many other communities, Apollo Beach is small in physical size. It does not take much time to drive through the community and observe the structure and flow of everyday life. The majority of the area is comprised of residential housing. Within this community are 2 elementary schools, several churches, parks, and a centralized community center with activities and programs for people of all ages. Shopping centers including grocery stores, discount stores, hardware stores, and pharmacies are located on the perimeter of the community, easily accessed by main roads and a highway. Plenty of restaurants, including fast food establishments, are also available. Most people who live in Apollo Beach commute to either Tampa or Bradenton for work via private vehicles or carpooling. There is no public transportation that runs throughout the community. There is, however, a single bus route along US Highway 41 with one stop in Apollo Beach. The bus route runs north and south parallel to the community, connecting with other bus routes near Tampa. The community plan furthers the vision and values of the residents of Apollo Beach. The citizens of Apollo Beach community recognize the inevitability of future growth in the area and have prepared to accept growth within the scope of maintaining the feel, charm, and convenience of waterfront-oriented small-town living. In line with rapid growth and increasing population, the community issues being addressed in the community are enhancing community character, ensuring quality land use and design, maintaining the canal system, improving transportation, establishing and improving safe sidewalks, bicycle lanes, and trail connectivity, improving and expanding public use facilities, and supporting economic development. Based on findings, the population of Apollo Beach generally is very consistent with the rest of the county and Florida as a whole in regard to age, race, ethnicity, and percentage of people employed. One issue that stands out regarding area population is the growth rate of about 110% over the past 10 years, compared to only 28% in surrounding counties and 21% in the state. The population density of 832 people per square mile is 183% higher than the Florida average and 818% higher than the national average. According to the World Health Organization, rapid population growth and overcrowding pose health risks to communities. Communities with population explosion are at risk of available resources being overwhelmed. Inadequate infrastructure and overcrowding are major factors in the transmission of diseases with epidemic potential. Outbreaks of disease are most frequent and more severe when the population density is high. Based on findings in the community assessment, residents of Apollo Beach community have access to a wide range of health services. These services and resources include hospitals, urgent care clinics, and long-term rehabilitation facilities. There are several agencies in the area that offer in-home assistance and companionship for elderly clients. There are services available providing mental health as well as drug and alcohol treatment and recovery programs. Apollo Beach Family Practice provides specialists for primary care, internal medicine, and geriatrics. These quality care institutes within the community receive high ratings from the Better Business Bureau and offer a variety of affordable payment options. Healthy People 2020 strives to identify nationwide health improvement priorities. Some of the objectives identified by Healthy People 2020 that would apply to Apollo Beach include access to comprehensive health care services. This is because the rapid growth of the population in Apollo Beach is outpacing the growth of services available to adequately treat people. Another objective would be education and community-based programs. These programs would help in the prevention of disease and injury, improving health and enhancing quality of life. These measures would also lessen the demands placed on healthcare services through prevention and early detection. Another important objective for Apollo Beach would be environmental health, specifically disaster preparedness. The community is vulnerable to the effects of hurricanes and flooding. Being prepared for the environmental impact of natural or human-designed disaster includes planning for health needs of the population and the impact on public infrastructure such as water sources and roadways. Some issues in the Apollo Beach community related to environmental concerns are the rapid growth and population density straining available resources. Another major concern is that the entire community is only 3 feet above sea level. A minimal hurricane could produce enough storm surge into Tampa Bay to completely flood the community, which is in Evacuation Zone A. The TECO power plant and the water desalination plant that supply Apollo Beach with electricity and fresh drinking water are located within the community in Flood Zone A. With few roads available for evacuation and the everyday problems with traffic flow to and from the community, disaster planning and management are top issues. Apollo Beach is unincorporated with no local government structure and falls under the jurisdiction of the Hillsborough County Board of Commissioners. There are 7 commissioners and they work together with equal voting power to enact resolutions and ordinances for health, safety, and the welfare of the people residing in Hillsborough County. These elected officials serve staggered 4-year terms. General information as well as contact information for each of the county commissioners can easily be found on the Hillsborough County website. The county website also posts meeting dates, agendas, budget decisions, and minutes from all board meetings. The Board of County Commissioners has regularly scheduled public meetings the first and third Wednesdays of the month. Currently for fiscal year 2019, the largest allocation of budget funding is 28% to the physical environment to keep up with the demands of a growing population. Another 27.6% of the budget is allocated to public safety. The county has a balanced budget that provides for all aspects of the community and keeps nearly $1.2 billion of revenue in reserve. As previously discussed, this community population has grown at a rate far greater than the surrounding counties. Healthcare needs that are not supported are absorbed by the surrounding communities, and continued growth could strain healthcare resources. Communities such as Apollo Beach with a rapidly growing population are at risk of available resources being overwhelmed. Adequate health infrastructure. This unincorporated community falls under the jurisdiction of Hillsborough County and is part of a larger healthcare infrastructure system. Public health programs addressing immunizations, infectious disease monitoring, cancer prevention, and water quality requires up-to-date information systems and public health organizations with the capacity to respond to the needs of the community. Lack of accessible roadways. Although there are many well-kept roads within the residential area of the community, few roads access the area. The only way directly in or out of the community is via US Highway 41. There are no adequate alternate routes, and this road is prone to congestion and auto accidents daily. Other community needs identified include educational and community-based programs. These programs play a key role preventing disease and injury, improving health, and enhancing quality of life. The typical settings for these programs are schools, work sites, and healthcare facilities. There are only 2 elementary schools within the boundaries of the community and limited healthcare facilities and work sites to offer such programs. A popular community center located centrally within the community currently offers no health-based educational programs. Disaster planning and preparedness. This community is vulnerable to the effects of hurricanes and flooding. Being prepared for the environmental impact of natural or human-designed disasters includes planning for health needs of the population and the impact on the public infrastructure such as water sources and roadways. Injury prevention. As observed in the windshield survey, many residents were enjoying the beautiful weather and amenities available in the community, such as biking, skating, boating, and swimming. The community is surrounded by water, providing a physical environment that increases the risk of drowning. Using proper safety equipment, such as helmets and life jackets, could prevent injury through education programs and enforcement of community ordinances and laws.